Spider-Man Far From Home swung into theaters and stole our hearts. It's a quirky and romantic film filled with emotional layers and plenty of intrigue. We can talk all day about every ounce of this movie, but the Binger is here for a very specific part for this video. Let's break down the ending and post-credit scenes to create a better understanding of what went down. Obviously, there are major spoilers ahead. If you've never seen the film, you might just want to back away slowly. Or don't. Just jump right in with both feet and without a care in the world. That idea works too. It's whatever floats your boat. We're just here to tell you what happened. Anyways, on to the real thing. The third act kicks off with MJ deducing that Peter Parker is actually Spider-Man. And her keen intellect is pivotal in helping Parker discover the illusion creating the air elemental. With the mystery solved and Beck's sham uncovered, Spider-Man goes to confront him. A lot of action goes down, and Peter finds himself stuck in jail in the Netherlands without Edith, the Stark accessory that's a key prop in the film. It's a piece of Stark tech that Beck is after the entire time. Happy Hogan helps Parker escape, and the two go to a lab that Tony had built to create suits. A new Spider-Man suit is born, and Peter goes back to confront Mysterio and the last elemental. Now obviously Spider-Man wins the battle and defeats Mysterio. However, it appears that Beck is no more at the end due to a misfire gunshot. Now, it is totally possible that this is true, but based on the mid-credit scene, we doubt Mysterio's gone for good. More on that later though, so tune in for that theory. Things go off in this mid-credit scene. Seriously, Marvel's been holding back on us lately, but this teaser, it was the real deal. It starts off right at the last scene of the movie, which is super uncommon for them to do, but we liked the change of pace. If only every post-credit scene could have this much hype. So we won't drag things out. It starts off with Spider-Man and MJ swinging down the block in New York. They're a couple now, and clearly they're very happy. It's the last part of the movie for a reason. The two stop swinging and Peter climbs on top of a light post to see a breaking report being flashed on screen. It's J. Jonah Jameson. He's showing exclusive footage of the fight with the air elemental that's been clearly doctored. In the video, it appears as if Spider-Man is the one who takes Mysterio out. He calls the friendly neighborhood web slinger a menace to society. It all feels pretty straightforward. That is until he gets to a bigger part of the video. The audio turns up, and the viewers in New York and around the world hear Beck refer to Spider-Man as Peter Parker. Jameson flashes up a picture of his face on screen, and the scene ends with a shocking twist. The whole world knows who Spider-Man is now. Now, this scene holds a lot of weight. Not only do people know who Spider-Man is, but they think he committed a crime. It's some serious accusations being thrown his way. The fact that Peter Parker is going to need to face the music and address this, it's bad news. He's still reeling from losing Stark, and having his identity out there is a really rough way to move on. Superheroes don't give up their identity willingly. Having it taken from Peter without his knowledge is going to be hard to recover from now. He's walking on some thin ice that's only gonna get thinner. Remember in Homecoming that Scorpion wanted to know Peter's identity? That conversation was years ago now. It's possible that he's out of jail and back on the streets. Regardless, any villain out there who wants to use his identity as leverage can now. Nothing will be easy for Peter now. He's gonna need to protect his friends and family like he has never had to before this moment. He literally just got the girl, and now he's put her life in danger. It's the worst case scenario for starting their relationship. Things are only gonna get more rocky going forward. Trust us. The end credits scene doesn't hit as hard as the mid credit scene, but that doesn't mean it's worthless.
What's up, guys? You got your pin number?
In fact, it plays really well off the other scene, and we could always use a little bit of a laugh to end the film. It's the change of pace right there at the end that reminds us everything's gonna be okay. It's not much to explain, but for those unfamiliar with Captain Marvel, we recommend catching up on that movie if you're confused. Fury and Hill are shown in the aftermath of this movie. Suddenly, the two characters transform into Talos and Sauron, two Skrulls left on Earth at the end of Captain Marvel. It turns out Fury charged them with taking on his role while he does some space travel. It's related to Captain Marvel, clearly, but we won't parse out those details yet. The point is, the two seem to be working under Fury and have been back on Earth for some time. Okay, we're willing to bet that at least one of you had a buddy lean over to you and whisper, "Secret Invasion," during that scene. In fact, we're willing to bet that at least one intense Marvel fan shouted it at the top of their lungs when this scene started. It's safe to say everyone is a little worked up about seeing Skrulls impersonate big-name characters. However, it doesn't appear that the Secret Invasion storyline is coming into play anytime soon. The two Skrulls were working for Fury. It's obvious they're the good guys this time. No amount of end credit scenes is going to change that fact. Marvel wants to go in a different direction outside the traditional storyline. It's something that will affect everyone's theories moving forward. Yes, this one is a comedic scene played for laughs, but that doesn't mean we can't glean some ideas off of it. There's some material in that scene that can lead to some very interesting theories about some later phases. As Axl Rose asked in Sweet Child of Mine, where do we go now? The answer is clear after the ending and those ending scenes. Clearly Marvel is going forward with some big dynamic shifts. Nothing's gonna stay the same. Glimpses in the film reveal the world reeling after the effects of the second snap. People are still shaky about the whole idea of reality right now. It's impossible to feel safe, and the scene with J. Jonah Jameson emphasizes the way certain characters are capitalizing on those insecurities. That being said, it's not just the citizens of the world undergoing change. Peter Parker is no longer a secret masked hero. On top of that, he needs to come to terms with what happened to Mysterio at the end of the fight. Accident or not, it's going to be a trauma that's hard to shake off, especially since he's being framed for it. We expect more Spider-Man cameos in the next phase to show him maturing and beginning to fit into his new role. With his identity now public, it's possible that the Injustice will spark other heroes to come forward. Perhaps the Eternals will come out of hiding after Fury goes off to meet them. It feels unlikely, but that could be his mission. It's possible that any number of new heroes that we're set to get begin their service after being inspired by Spider-Man's international display of heroism. Even worse, villains from all over the world saw his power. It's gonna lead to bad things on the horizon. The rest of these entries are all theories tied to the ending of Far From Home. They're not proven, but comic book history and dots displayed at the end of the movie lead to these conclusions. No one should take these as fact, but it's not like they're totally fiction either. Everything is nestled in that nice little gray area of totally plausible. This first theory relates to the ending with Mysterio. The dude is a talented illusionist. He was playing Peter the entire film, and it took MJ to discover his tricks. It's more than plausible that he had an exit plan in mind. It wouldn't be the most shocking reveal ever. In the comics, Mysterio fakes his fate 1 or 2 times over the course of his run. It might be that he truly runs off to another reality, but, let's get real. He managed to stage the illusion for Peter to believe, and then he doctored some footage. What's more, there's a logical way to bring Mysterio back into the fold later. Fans of Spider-Man know what group's coming next. That's right, we're talking about the Sinister Six, everyone's favorite group to theorize about now. We've got a video or two going in depth on theories relating to that scary squad of Spidey rogues, so go check that out if you want more on this theory. Regardless, Mysterio is prone to fake things, and no one should be surprised to see him back at a later date. He'll wait till the moment is right though, you can count on that. Once again, we've got a whole video on Norman Osborn theories that you can catch up on here at The Binger. We didn't see him teased much in this movie, but that doesn't mean his debut is cancelled. It's coming up at some point, and the end credit scene might be a sly indication. No offense to Talos, but he isn't Fury. He's a smart cookie, but he's more prone to mistakes. Mistakes like giving Osborn control over a hammer or some similar leadership role. With Fury off planet, it's the perfect time for Osborn to make his move. Talos will be more keen on trusting him. He already made that mistake with Beck. If he does make the mistake and give Osborn the keys to the car, then you know what happens next. The Dark Avengers show up. We're connecting the two because this scene came from a Spider-Man film, but the proof is sorta there. The context to make it possible is right in front of the audience. It's just not concrete stuff. Sure, it means inferring a lot for this to be true, but someone had to buy Stark's tower. There's a power vacuum being left by all the absent Avengers. Maybe it's time for Oscorp to fill the gap and take the reins. The chess pieces are all in position, it's just up to Marvel to execute. That way we don't get Secret Invasion, but we still get a result from it that fans would want to see. So, Peter Parker might get arrested. There's multiple reasons that sentence might be true. For starters, there's fake video proof that he ended Mysterio. It's not the most reassuring sign. On top of that, the Superhero Registration Act might amp up and catch him in some government loophole that he refuses to concede to. No matter what, having his identity out there puts his life as a hero in jeopardy. In Homecoming, fans got a peek at the fact Miles Morales lives in this reality. We don't see him as Spider-Man, but it's not destined to happen. Fans are already familiar with the character and Marvel is riding the hot hand. No one is sick and tired of seeing Peter Parker, but bringing in another Spider-Man might be what he needs to clear his name. Morales provides a solution to a tricky web Peter's stuck in at the moment. He can play the role of Spider-Man when Peter's in public, and that would theoretically disprove Jameson's accusation. Plus, Morales would free up Parker to move past the neighborhood work. He'd be able to join the Avengers and start living a more normal life with MJ. Ultimately, the two working together is great for everyone involved. Two Spider-Man characters in the universe is better than none. It resolves some of the loose plot threads provided by the mid-credits scene and gives Peter an out. Even better, it gives fans a character that they're anxious to see get portrayed by Marvel now that Sony's delivered a real hit version. Once again, we want to reiterate that the post-credits scene wasn't a waste of time. Even the scenes played for humor provide the occasional insight. Granted, some more than others, but this one definitely points at the Captain Marvel sequel. Fury is clearly headed to help her. But with what is the bigger question. Fury doesn't go out into the dangerous depths of dark space to see tourist attractions. He's not on vacation, it's clearly for a job, and the only galactic friend he's close to is Carol Danvers. The Supreme Intelligence is still at large last we could tell, and the Kree might be free from its grasp, maybe. However, that's a big villain to leave unaccounted for now. The end of Captain Marvel saw her going after the Kree leader, and fans are due a conclusion to that mission. Expect Carol Danvers to triumph over the Supreme Intelligence here in her next film. The character is a big enough villain to be her prime threat here in Phase 4. If not, it's possible we see the entity crashing the party on Earth and being the big baddie for the next Avengers film. There's a couple possibilities, but all of them seem possible at the moment. It's hard to eliminate any of them. Well, that's what we got in the theory department right now. Do you want more content from The Binger? Let us know what you want to hear about down in the comment section down below. We love the support, so subscribing and liking this video goes a long way towards making this content possible. Until next time.